2nd of March. We're on lesson 7 of writing a newspaper report that describes an event. And the event is Valery Rossov's base jump, trying to beat his own world record. So today you're going to edit your 2nd paragraph, and then you're going to write your 3rd paragraph. So you're going to need with you, obviously, your 2nd paragraph from yesterday. You're going to need some paper, some pencils, your waggle, your research, and your checklist. If you haven't got that, stop the video, go and get it, and then restart the lesson. So, your task 1. I sent you yesterday this paragraph. What I would like you to do is to very quickly, just like we do in class, 5 minutes, look at it, what's wrong with it, and improve it. So stop the video, give yourself 5 minutes, see what you can do with this. Off you go. Okay, year 6. So hopefully you've looked at this and you've read it and you've thought, okay, it's pretty basic. Certainly, yes, it does talk about why he wanted to do the jump, but there's not a lot of description in there. The language that's used is not quite right for the tone of a newspaper report and the tone that I'm wanting to create. And most importantly, I haven't included any direct speech in this paragraph whatsoever. So hopefully you've improved that and included some direct speech in the one that you've done. But I can see that when you send it in to me later on today. However, what I've done is I've changed it. So from taking the basic one that I've done here, I've used relative clauses, I've used my punctuation of semicolons, I've used parentheses to include some additional information in the form of brackets, and I have actually put in a reporter clause with some speech that I wanted, some direct speech. So let's read it through. From a very young age, this intrepid and fearless sportsperson, who always had a passion for extreme sports, discovered that it would be possible as an adult to become a professional base jumper, that he could push himself to the limit in order to break base jumping world records. When interviewed by our reporter, he indicated, "I have always lived life to the fullest in order to prove that I am the best at my sport." Okay, I think you'll all agree that that's improved it. So what I want you to do now, year 6, is to go back and be critical of your paragraph, of your 2nd paragraph. I want you to actually think about what can you do to improve it? What can you do to make it better? So look at what I've done. Could your language be changed? Could you use some parentheses? Could you use a colon or a semicolon instead? Well, could you use a semicolon instead of a coordinating conjunction? Have you included speech? If you haven't, could you please make sure that you do so? So give yourself 5 minutes to edit that, and then I'd like you to move on to the next part of the lesson. So now, we are now going to be writing our 3rd paragraph. So this 3rd paragraph, Structure Strip's going to help you. You're in past tense, and this paragraph is all about all the preparation that went into the jump, the years of planning, the training that Valery and his team needed to do to be ready to do the jump, the equipment that was needed for the jump. And could you use direct speech in this paragraph, possibly? This would also be a good paragraph to use a relative clause in. Now, this is the section of the research here where you filled in how did he do the jump, the preparation, training, equipment that he was needed. And this here is my information that I'm going to use to write my 3rd paragraph. This is the original waggle, but now I think I'll have a go at writing another one. Don't feel like writing in red today. Think I'll write in blue. Okay, so let's just extend this out and get rid of that. So I'm going to try and change it from the original waggle, but using this information here. So I'm going to start off to help Rossov, because I don't want to keep saying Valery, Valery, Valery all the time. I'm going to have to think of different ways to say his name or to describe him. To help Rossov break the world record. You didn't want that to do that. Okay. Then I'm going to put a comma here. A specialist suit was specifically designed for him. Now, I've got to make sure that I have cohesion in this as well. I don't want it stopping and starting, because the problem sometimes with when you've got lots of information is that you're so busy trying to get it down that you forget cohesion. So I've talked here about his specialist suit. I'm going to start off my next sentence by talking about the suit. So this suit, so I've got the specialist suit, this suit would enable him to maximize the air currents around Mount Cho Oyu. Okay. And if he's maximizing the air currents around Mount Choyu, it's going to help him be successful. And help him be successful. 2 C's, 2 S's, 1 L, successful in breaking the world. Okay. I'm going to just make this a little bit smaller. Or not. Here we go. Let's take it down to 22. That's better. Okay, so I'm just checking here what else I've got to do here. I just mentioned your specialist suit, so I haven't talked about anything else. Okay, so it's always good to go back and check to see what you've got, so you know what not to use again and what you still need to use. I want to talk about years of planning, these 2 years in planning. So I'm going to start with years of planning. Into the 3-minute jump. And I'm going to get a quote in. I wonder why that got bigger again. What size was this? 22. Let's just take this down to 22. Okay. So years of planning went into the 3-minute jump. I'm going to get a quote. Think of a name. Then I'm going to have to say who John Smith is. A spokesperson from the sponsor. And then I'm going to say the sponsor's name, Red Bull. Stated. Now I'm going into my speech now. So comma, open speech marks, capital letter. Without detailed organization took into consideration the wind speed, the weather. What else was here? Wind speed, weather. What have I got on my list? Wind speed, comma, weather, and the altitude of the climb, comma, it would not be safe for Rozov or his team to attempt the jump. I think it's important to actually mention the team as well, because it wasn't just Rozov doing it. Although he was the one that leapt, if he hadn't had his team behind him, he wouldn't have been able to do it. So I'm going to finish that little bit, full stop, punctuation inside the speech marks, do my speech marks. Now I'm going to then do something really clever. I'm going to continue the speech, but I want to say that rather than doing a long quote from John Smith, I'm going to then say, new sentence, he went on to add, and then I'm going to open up my speech marks again, comma, speech marks, Red Bull are delighted to be sponsor, or not to be, to sponsor Valerie in his attempt. No, I think I'm going to put his record breaking. That's the end of the speech. Full stop, close mark. So I'm going to read that back now just to make sure I am happy with it. To help Rosov to break the world record, a special suit was specially designed for him. This suit would enable him to maximize the air currents around Mount Choyoyu and help him be successful in breaking the world record. Years of planning went into the 3-minute jump. John Smith, a spokesperson from the sponsor, Red Bull, stated, without detailed organization that took into consideration the wind speed, weather, and the altitude of the climb, it would not be safe for Rosov or his team to attempt the jump. He went on to add, Red Bull are delighted to sponsor Valery in his record-breaking attempt. Okay, so year 6. What I would probably do now is I'd go back and re-edit that again, but that's for me to do. Now what you need to do is to write your 3rd paragraph. Use the structure strip to help you down the side. Use your research that you've got, like I've got mine. You've got a waggle here, and now you've got the start of another waggle here. Not 100% happy with that yet, but I'm sure that you could improve on some of that as well. But please feel free to magpie some of the language that I have used here. So year 6, off you go and write your 3rd paragraph. And when you have finished, I want you to do edit 1 and edit 2 this time, please. So check your spelling. Does it make sense? Check your punctuation, and then make sure, is there anything you can add or take away? Is there an opportunity for you to get direct speech in? Now, don't put too much direct speech in. If you've already got 1 in that paragraph, but less is more, I think I'm trying to say here. Don't put too much speech in, just 1 really good one. When you've read it through for the final time, then you have finished this lesson. Please remember to send it in to your class teacher at the end of the day, and I will speak to you tomorrow, year 6.